Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to War on the Sea, our Japanese Let's Play, playing as the Imperial Japanese Navy, and it is about a week into the game so far. We have sunk a large number of Allied ships and a lot of American Marines at sea, and at the moment we are dealing with what we spotted toward the end of the last episode was an American battleship task force moving up toward the slot. We also have some reinforcements on the way into Guadalcanal, so we can start, building the base up a little bit more. We just built up Guadalcanal and Florida Islands into level 1 airfields, but I am trying to get some additional supplies and engineering resources down to Guadalcanal so we can increase it to a level 2 and get some dive bombers. This was taken from a live stream from my Twitch channel just last night, and I haven't been streaming terribly frequently lately because of the newborn, but I was able to get a nice about 2.5 hour long stream. Really enjoyable to get going again. Would love to see some of you guys out. I know it's been a little while, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is from my most recent episode, and let's go ahead and jump in. I think it's an interesting episode. Starts with some air attacks on an enemy battleship, and by the end of it we build a pretty massive task force, which might include the Musashi or the Yamato or both. I mean, part of it was I ran downstairs to throw some laundry in the washer, and then I came up and I was like trying to start my intro while I was out of breath, and that was probably not a good thing to do. All right, so we've got some enemy patrol aircraft spotted here. Our merchants are withdrawing. Our carriers, one of our carriers is withdrawing. You can see our sweep of aircraft here. If you have an artist you recommend, Skanzi, shoot me a DM or whatever. Hit me up on Facebook, because I wasn't totally thrilled with my latest dog emote. This one, a certain content creator with 70,000+ subs told me that it might look like my dog is on meth. So. Oh, by the way, so I went to a bookstore today, and I bought a whole bunch of books, and one of them was Clay Blair's The Hunters. So I have that on Kindle already, but I've never read it. So I got an actual hardcover version of his book on the Battle of the Atlantic. Hell yeah, Mr. Thumb. It's all down here. All right, so what do we have here? So a whole oh shit, not the button I wanted to press. 7. What is engaging us? Yep. No, I know. I've got them both on Kindle, so I know. Any torpedoes? I do a fair bit of audiobooks, Skanzi, but you know, there have actually been studies that have been done that have said you retain far more when you read a physical book. Like, if you're reading an ebook, you do not retain as much information as if you were reading ink on paper. There have been a fair number of studies that have shown this is 100% true. I don't know if it's because like you're on a Kindle and there's something about it being electronic, or if it's really because like a lot of people are reading on tablets and phones and they just like get distracted really easy. I'm not sure, but there's been a fair bit of research that is kind of more or less proven that is the case. I saw something in the water here, so I'm gonna have our rear destroyer peel off here and hit active sonar and see if they pick anything up. I don't see torpedoes. This convoy keeps getting sort of pulled into battles where there's no one present. Oh, I for sure, like, I don't even think it's a question. I retain only a fraction in an audiobook of what there is to hear. I think that's 100% true. Like, an audiobook, you are not going to retain what you retain when you read. But like, that's why audiobooks, I really enjoy listening to fiction novels. Like, I'm listening to the Sharp series of novels right now. But where's this guy going? I didn't order him to turn. Or is it because... the hell did he do that for? He just like shifted his course and I don't even know why. Is there a sub right there? That looks like a shadow in the water. Turn, sir. Engage that bastard. I don't think I'm imagining things. This looks like a shadow in the water right here. Audiobooks are super convenient. I love audiobooks. I listen to a ton of audiobooks. That being said, I do not retain what I retain when I read a book versus an audiobook. There's for sure a shadow in the water right here, right? Oh, yes, there is. Engage. Attack the target. An American submarine has been spotted, boys. Protect your carrier. He's behind us. Oh no, we lost contact? Aw. How about you slow down a little bit? Pick it back up. You're like, we're gonna depth charge on one? Well, we don't know where that is anymore. Yeah, this sub has been shadowing our task force for a while. So it would be nice to finish it off. I'm not sure I see it anymore. Oh, there he is, right in front of us. Attack him! You telling me you can't hear that guy? You're like 2 feet away. How about you kick to 0? You're not pinging him? Oh, don't want to attack that. Slow to... maybe he was the guy with contact. Slow to 0 knots. Surely they won't fire torpedoes at a non-moving warship 2 feet in front of them. No one? You're not gonna pick him up, huh? You're both just like sitting there pinging the water. Okay. I don't think he can get his depth charges over on the guy. There we go. All right, so I don't know who had picked him up. We'll give the close-in guy the option to attack. No, what are you doing? Did you shoot at your own teammate because I had the wrong... What are you doing? Why are you... No, ceasefire. Ceasefire. Well, you just hit your own... Oh. Depth charge on 1, dumbass. It's a Gato-class submarine. Not sure what his depth is. You can see the shadow pretty damn clearly. You're gonna roll depth charges, right? Well, if he's moving at all, you're gonna miss. You should have gone in front of him. You're rolling depth charges either way. Off they go into the deep blue sea. Keep tossing them. More. Not there yet. They always drop too early. Oops. So obviously the turbulence in the water from the depth charging caused us to lose the contact. right, now you attack him, okay? I want spread of 5, that's good. Go ahead and attack the Gato. You've got a nice clean shot on him. My tactics weren't great, Newhauser, or are you talking about the Japanese anti-submarine tactics? Both of these are probably true. Sir, they appear to be shooting at each other. Yeah, how much damage did I do, by the way? None? Oh, well, good to know our surface warships have terrible ass main guns, I guess. Luckily, we got a clear hit on ourselves, so... The American sub is sitting at 239 feet. Looks like it's a pretty shallow bottom here. So he's not going to go to crush depth. He's moving at -2 knots in reverse, which is kind of interesting. Our destroyer goes the long way across him. At that speed, we should be able to obliterate that guy as long as we don't drop too early. How many depth charges do we have here? 56, full complement. All right, they're not launching yet. They're just about over the top of him. Coming across him. All right, charges are out. Probably a little too soon. You probably think he's moving. If we stop shooting, I guess I'll just manually hit the fire button. I think that'll work, right? Okay, so it counts down the spread. I actually think this is a pretty good spread on him. He's gonna back into these charges. You can see depth charges dropping all around him. This one went down to the surface of the ocean surface. Thought that was a pretty good drop. Maybe not. I guess he's moving forward now. All right, why don't you go ahead and attack him now? Depth charge on 1. How many depth charges do we have left on this guy? 41. Come on in, Shimonotuski. I made that Japanese name sound very Russian. Admiral Shimonotuski of the North Banner Fleet. Chase cam below the water. Does it still think he's moving at -2 knots? That could be part of the problem. Turn in on the target. He looks uneven, sir. Looks like he's listing. Is he on the ocean floor? Did he flood and maybe go down? Oh, it says he's sinking. So, rip. I guess there's nowhere to crush to. Maybe these depth charges will finish whoever's left on the sub off. Boom! That one was like right on the bow. This one's gonna come like right down on him. Boink! Alright, well, in any event, we sank him. Rip. All right, well, I think we can get out of this this particular battle. We sank an American Gato-class submarine. And now we don't have to worry about those goddamn subs harassing us. All right, so we've got... So our air recon has spotted some interesting targets. We've got 2 light cruisers, 2 heavy cruisers, and 2 destroyers back here coming up toward potentially to bombard Guadalcanal. We also have two destroyers, one light cruiser, one heavy cruiser, and one battleship near Riddell Island. So quite a few targets. Go ahead and let our recon play out a little bit longer, see if we pick anything else up. Bunch of enemy aircraft spotted near Guadalcanal. We'll see what we pick up on our return flight. There's a whole bunch of recon aircraft out there. What's this out this way? 3 destroyers out to the east. Not too worried about them. All right, so 2 heavy cruisers, 1 battleship, nothing else detected moving way further out other than these destroyers, which I'm not too worried about. Want to see, can these guys still, are they still in range? Yeah, they're in range. All right. Cool. We'll fly 1-0 out here as sort of a, I guess, a recon aircraft. Let's go ahead and fly a flight of 10 Vals, 250 kilogram bombs. They've got the range to it again. Go ahead and have this other flight, this other task force, do a flight of 12 Vals. We're going to go dive bomber heavy. We'll go with the torpedo bombers once we've thinned the enemy fleet out a bit. Have the 0 stick over these guys. It is close to night. A whole bunch of enemy recon aircraft. So who do we go for? Do we go for the heavies and light, or do we go for the battleship? I don't know how many bombs the battleships can take. Alright, so we're gonna go with the battleship with both those groups. These guys launch another strike. They can. We're gonna launch 4 torpedo bombers. These guys have better range, the Kates. This task force is gonna go ahead and launch another flight of Vals. Because I love me some Vals. The Kates lose too many aircraft. So we're homing in on the enemy battleship. We're going to try and have these 2 groups of Vals come in simultaneously. All right, here we go, boys. Tactical map, 2 groups of Vals, 22 Val dive bombers. Ship spotted. They're behind us. Okay. What does this do? Does this indicate there's like some new icon on here? Is that a gun icon? Alright, so here's the question. Enemy destroyer. What's all here? Got a destroyer, treaty, heavy cruiser, an Atlanta off to the flank. And then I don't even know how to tell which battleships these are. I guess I could go to the... I'm just like... We could go for the battleship, but part of me wants to go for the Atlanta class. Like, whittle these guys down a bit. Get rid of their air defense. So that it's not so good. It's a bomb load icon? Alright, brass wind chimes, thanks. Didn't know that. What do you guys want? Do we take out the Atlanta? Because that seems like the easier target. That'll then make the battleship much easier. North Carolina class? Okay. So do we go for the North Carolina or do we go for the Atlanta? There's only 6 Atlantas. We've already sunk 3? You kill the battleship later? Also, it helps that the Atlanta's on the outside and that's where our destroyers or our bombers are. Go for both? I mean, we probably have enough dive bombers to sink the Atlanta and damage the battleship. So we'll do that. For this. Alright, so we're going to send 10 of our Vals against the Atlanta. Then we're going to send the second group of Vals in, which I'm assuming the first group is going to get shot at. So these guys are all the other groups are nearer, and then we'll send the second group in because the enemy anti-aircraft tends to only fire at one group. So we're just going to try and overwhelm them with 12 dive bombers in on the battleship and 10 in on the Atlanta. Drop the single destroyer. Aren't there? There's two destroyers. Oof, you can see the flak already pitter-pattering all over here. We're coming in a diamond formation attack. I'm just making all that shit up. All right, whole bunch of flak in the air. Some aircraft smoking here. Some of these guys are going to... Actually, they look like they're going in on the battleship. Maybe I didn't stagger these attacks as I thought I did. I didn't see any hits there. Oh, Atlanta just got clobbered. Looks like one of the aircraft crashed right alongside her too. I do think these secondary waves got in much closer because of the focus on the Atlanta first. Oh, nice hits there. Boom! Whole bunch of bomb hits along the superstructure. That's a lot of hits here. We did lose a fair number of Vals. I think the Atlanta's a goner. You can see she's very low in the water. She stopped moving. Battleship's nice and burning too. Let's take a look here. So, 2 is the battleship. Why is... We got so many bomb hits on the battleship. I don't even see anything on 4, but the Atlanta's sinking either way. So 4 confirmed sinking. Battleship is very clearly in a bad way. Yeah, but the game gives you all 6, I believe. So the Atlanta for sure is sinking. The battleship is still making a little bit away. These are gun icons. They're not bomb icons because they guys already dropped their bombs. So I think it just means they've got guns and they can strafe. If we look at the attack, we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Vals. That's not too bad. Third of the attack. Crippling a battleship. Sinking a cruiser, maybe sinking a battleship. She's badly afire and listing badly. Atlanta's already under. Yep, torpedo bombers and 9 more Vals can come in and finish the job if we didn't already do enough. And if we did, they can go for the heavy cruisers. So let's fast forward a little bit and see if these fires get to her. See if they can sink her. See the fires are spreading a little bit on deck. 7 airmen for a crew of 400. Yeah. Sitting still and on fire. Is that bad? But I mean, we did see an enemy destroyer take like 3 torpedo hits and survive. So that magical American damage control. Still, we just got to let these fires keep burning. That's the key. These dive bombers. You just got to give the fires time to work. Which doesn't make like for super exciting gameplay when it's like, let's fast forward for 5 minutes after the bombing attack and see what happens. But good God, that water level's almost over her superstructure, or onto her superstructure, above the freeboard. Hey, son of Sun Tzu, how you doing? All right, so our Vals of all, or almost all left. God damn it, pulls me out. I hate, like, it was nice before when it didn't do that. When your air groups leave the combat zone, it pulls you away from whatever you're zoomed in on the enemy side. Mop 'em up, mop 'em up. Thank you for the resub there, Lord Death Hand. Appreciate the support. 3 months now. Clean up Isle battleship. All right. Battleship heavy damage, moderate faulting. That looked worse than moderate, but whatever. 9 command points for sinking the Atlanta. 7 of our 23 aircraft lost. So these guys will RTB. The Shikaku group has 9 left. The Suikaku has 6. And the Suikaku is the one heading back to base, actually. So the aircraft carrier that is staying on station lost less. Good news. Our Kates are coming down as well. So we'll have our Kates and Vals coordinate. We only have 4 Kates, though, so not a lot of torpedoes. All right. Meanwhile, the Shokaku's got more aircraft ready to come up. So we'll send 12 more Kates. So maybe we can do a whole bunch of torpedo attacks on this task force. There we go. So I'm not going to send the Vals in quite yet. We got enough fuel to loiter. Don't know if they have enough to wait for the Kates. Oh shit. Enemy fighters? Where'd they come from? They're chasing my Kates. I've got no fighters to support. We can't launch it. Oh wait, we can launch them off Guadalcanal, right? Just 4, but might help. Give me 4 more off of Taguli or whatever. Florida Islands. Why are those fighters crossing us and they're not attacking? I mean, they're not complaining, but... Oh, they're probably trying to make for the battleship. Huh. Well, too late, buddy. I'm gonna go for the attack. Tactical map, go! Although they might be in range already. I guess we'll see. Alright, let's just go right in on the attack in that case. I don't want to wait and risk enemy fighters swooping in on us. We'll move the Kates north to get a good attack on the battleship. The Vals are just gonna go straight in. They can dive bomb, obviously. So not the best angle for a bombing attack, I don't think, but I don't want to risk getting hurt by enemy fighters. Kates, crank it up to max speed, get out ahead of these guys. Vals go right in. So we've got one group of a single Val going in, eating up all the enemy flak. They're all shooting at that lone Val. The enemy warships are finally maneuvering to avoid. Boom! A whole bunch of hits there. Second group comes in completely unmolested for its bombing run. Oh, looks like almost every one of their bombs hit. Hell yeah. Meanwhile, the Kates are now up ahead of the formation. So I don't know if that's enough to sink the battleship or not. There's a destroyer on that flank of the task force. The cruiser's on the other end, so I guess the Kates are going to come in and attack the battleship? They've got to get down their they've got to get their altitude down, though. Still, I'm guessing the enemy battleship's not going to be moving much. After all those bomb hits. Yeah, they can, man. Something tells me it wouldn't work quite like that in real life, but hey, you know, in a video game, when you can trick the AI, everybody fire at this one lead plane. It might work. All right, meanwhile, the Vals are out, and I think they all made it. Looks like we lost one Val, so that was a very safe attack. Meanwhile, our Kates, as they're going down in altitude, they are getting hit with a little bit of flak. They're at the edge of the enemy flak envelope, but they're not. It doesn't look like any of it's doing damage. It also looks like it's just the destroyers. The aircraft reported. Oh, lost contact. So these guys are going to come in on a pretty terrible angle to attack. But The enemy battleship's not really moving very fast. So hopefully we can get a pretty good strike of torpedoes in on. This aircraft just got hit by a bunch. All 4 torpedoes made it out. Everybody's at max speed. Focus on the battleship, which is already kind of turning. Looks like they got one of them. Fish coming in on not a great angle for us. One hit. Is that all we're going to get? Maybe 2. The first one's going to pass under the bow. Fuck. Well, just one hit then. Again, it was a bad angle of attack. I did not play battle stations midway. But like with all the bomb hits, can that just be enough? How many hits can this guy take? So it's still ablaze. Look at the report, it says critical damage and heavy flooding. So I gotta think if we wait a little bit that maybe she'll sink. Let's pull that 0 back. Let's... go ahead and attack. Well, I can't watch. And then I'm gonna have my 0 close in on the battleship here and give us a little bit of recon. Come on, USN, you can do it. No! How dare you? Why are you just like... you're a dumb pilot. Don't turn inside. Turn the other way. Bleed some speed and get behind him. No reason to turn in front of the guy. And if a 0 wants to get into a turning fight with you, you're gonna win. Or not a 0. If a not a 0 wants to get in a turning fight with you, you're gonna win. You think I counter flooded it with a torpedo? Oh, I hope not. We'll see. There, now you're coming up right behind him. I told him to shoot at this range, but whatever. I don't care about bullets. There you go. You got your kill. Thank you. Dear historical gamer, thank you for taking over my aircraft and teaching me how to fly. Sincerely, your 0 pilot. Skynet is good. Skynet is the historical gamer. Alright, so did we counter flood it? Maybe. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, but he was attacking from the front. So yeah, this battleship looks like it's doing a little bit better. Still critical damage, but only moderate flooding. Probably needs a little bit more damage. Looks like those fires have been put out. So we'll have to wait, I think, for that next group of Kates. She's not listing as badly as she was after the initial bombings. What is she taking? Like 10 250-pound or kilogram bombs? Maybe 12? She's only taken 1 torpedo, though. Not that the North Carolina had a great history of dealing with torpedoes. So there are still some fires. Well, it looks like they put the fires out below deck. The smoke stopped. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for that fight. Critical damage, moderate flooding on the battleship. We lost 2 aircraft in the attack. Kates continue on. Those aircraft must be RTBing, which makes me think there might be a carrier out west here. Like, where else are they coming from? They gotta be coming from somewhere. RTB. RTB. All right. Let's go back and finish these guys off. 12 torpedo bombers should be enough to finish off a battleship, right? Where are they at? Right, they're behind us. I'm sure that's enough separation from the enemy flak. Okay. Battleship's already turning, which is kind of annoying. Maybe put 4 on the cruiser lord, but the problem, like, I don't know. We'll have to see what it looks like. He's already turning away from us. So whoever's going to get the best broadside shot on this guy is who's going to go. I think it's going to be these Kates. Alright, I think the 3's the cruiser. Let's go ahead and torpedo him. We're going to cut out ahead of the group. Come down on the other flank. And you guys are already way too close to start dropping your altitude, but it's what I've ordered. And Lord knows a good officer can never admit to being wrong, so we're not going to rescind the order. Wow, your pilots are really bad at this. Well, maybe the pilots are bad because I'm bad. I don't know. Have you guys cease your attack, pull back. He's too slow to turn rapidly, so like if we can get a better angle. The cruiser's turning too, like he magically knows we're attacking him. Oh, one of our bombers is already smoking. All right, now go in and attack. So these guys are gonna attack the wrong fucking guy. So know what you're gonna do. This is dumb. Bank away! Go for the battleship! Or maybe the other side of the cruiser. Yes, do that. Go in and attack like that. These guys have already dropped, right? They're coming in close to drop. See, why are they, like, you drop those 3? 4? I don't know. And so the fish in the water for the battleship. Heavy cruiser. There's 2 fish out? Oh, there's 3 fish out on the heavy cruiser. Where's the battleship? Oh! Oh! 2 torpedoes. 2 hits on the battleship for sure. Looks like 2 misses. Oh! 2 hits on the cruiser. Any chance one of those snags the destroyer? Probably not. It's too fast. Massive fire near the bow of the battleship. Do I still have one group of Kates I haven't launched in yet? Yep. Alright, now you guys go after that cruiser, I think. I think the battleship's a goner. That big fire in the front of the ship, with all the damage she's already taken, she's got to be a goner, right? Critical heavy? Man, these American ships just love to take damage. Magazine will go boom. I don't think I've ever seen a magazine explosion on... I've seen magazine explosions where a shell directly hits the magazine and it blows up instantly. I don't think I've ever seen a magazine explosion where like a fire spreads to a magazine. You want me to hit the battleship again? Are these guys not flying in to attack? Oh, wait, these are zeros. Where's the other Kates? These guys are coming down. Fine. I'm just trying to be perfect. Can we have one of the Kates peel off and attack the cruiser? How dare you root for American damage control? You are a traitor to the Emperor. We're gonna counterflood this bitch again, aren't we? They're gonna come in from the other side. We're doing your work for you, Americans. No, we're not. We're coming in from the right side. Okay. Part of me wonders if a line ahead formation might not be best, just because they're moving so slow. If you aim for center mass, I think you're for sure going to hit. I think when you have a 4 aircraft spread, put those fish out over too much spot. No, I'm not going to drop on the destroyers, jerks. But we did peel one of our Kates off to go after the cruiser. He's over here by himself. Stay on target. Oh, well, he's coming center, straight on, because the cruiser's... Oh, that's a terrible attack angle. Battleship, at least you got its broadside by the looks of it. Stay on target. Whoa! 5-inch shell just went over your head. At least the cruiser can't bring most of its armament in against you. One fish away. These guys are going broadside with the cruiser, so they're going to take some punishment. Going right past it. But I think they'll get a nice salvo off. Where's that cruiser's... Right, that fish looks pretty good. Cruiser's moving damn fast, though. Is it gonna go past behind us? No, went right behind the bastard. God damn it. Fucking A. Right, three torpedo bombers all got their fish out. I lost another one of them. 3 fish out. Those might all hit. They had a perfect broadside shot. They should all hit. 1, 2, 3. More fires in the front of the ship. You gotta finish them off now, right? Like, that's 5 fish into this North Carolina. There we go. We got it. She's going under, boys. It was a bloody battle. We lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Kates of our attacking 12. We finished the enemy battleship. Down she goes into the deep blue sea. Just rub some dust and dirt in it. You'll be fine, North Carolina. One thing I'm not thrilled about, the sinking, the damage and listing and stuff's pretty well done in this game, but I really wish you saw more like just pure ships capsizing, rolling over, lifting up and breaking in two. The sinking animations could be way better. They always seem to sink way too flat. They always go down like it's like, all right, they're listing heavily, and then they just kind of like settle flat and go down straight. North Carolina, Kent. Why do I bully such a nice ship? I like the North Carolina. She's a good one. I wish when I was in North Carolina for work a couple of years back, I had taken some time out to go see her. I was more in like central North Carolina, so I didn't really get that close to I think she's in Wilmington, right? I don't have anything left to go after the cruiser with. The heavy cruiser's over there. She's still afire, but I don't think she's gonna sink. her fire did get worse when she went to flank speed to avoid that torpedo, so that may have done some damage to her, but she's still pretty level. Didn't have too bad of a list. I've not sunk the... I don't think I sank the Canberra. Down she goes to Davy Jones' locker. We got her, boys. We got her. Woot woot. I don't know if we sank the Astoria or not. I don't remember. The battleship sure sinks slow. Under the water, the battleship slowly begins to sink beneath the waves. As she fills up with water. By the way, one of the animations I noticed, well, no, that was actually, sorry, that was from Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. I noticed that they added an animation where when a ship sinks, there's like rowboat, like lifeboats and things like that that can kind of like move off the ship. I don't think they do anything. She's going down, lads. I want to see a sinking like HMS Barm. Yeah, I mean, like anything. A little bit more variety would be nice. Down goes the American flag, slipping beneath the waves. I mean, she kind of rolls over, but like after she's already underwater. Not every, you know, at least we get to see 2 screws, I guess. And then she's going to go vertical. American battleships have 3 or 4 screws. Dive, dive, dive the boat, sir. Bring her down. Make your depth to the seafloor. Looks like 4 screws. I love the sound effects of the ship breaking up as it goes down. All right, so we got a battleship and we moderately damaged a cruiser. 35,000 tons sunk. 40 command points. There you go. 5 aircraft out of the 19 lost. We go ahead and we take a look at the enemy losses tab. You can see 35,000 tons North Carolina battleship. It is the USS North Carolina, lost. 46 enemy warships now lost. I think that was 4 Atlantas now, I think, right? Here's the, we sank the Tucson. We sank the Flint, the Reno, the Oakland, and the San Juan. Have we sunk all the Atlantas? I think that's all but one. I think we've sunk all the Atlantas except the Atlanta. No, don't remember the Atlanta. Don't remember the North Carolina. We're on the side of the Emperor, remember? All right, so Shikaku, does she have any ships or aircraft? Nope, can't launch any for a while. Well, we can't get any vals off you. You're too far away. I think they're going to bombard and probably destroy our 1 airfield on Guadalcanal in the night. Because it is almost nighttime. Do we have any strike aircraft to launch? I can do 9 Vals and 10 Kates. Let's do the 10 Kates. Let's go after this enemy cruiser task force, I think. Or do we want to go for the badly damaged cruiser? I don't know. At this point, the American cruisers slip up toward Guadalcanal. They don't bombard in the night. They just kind of patrol the slot, and then they slip away into the early morning before we can get our aircraft up. So at this point, we're going to jump ahead a little bit to where some of our ships have returned to Rabaul, and we're in the process of building a new task force because nothing happens here for about the next 7 minutes or so of gameplay. So let's jump ahead. No, we've already kind of used carriers. We are going to build a new naval task force. We've got 313 points. So we are going to go with some vessels. What do we want? We want a battleship, right? So we could afford 2 Congos easily, but I'm going to go... How many North Carolinas are there? 2? And we sank the North Carolina. There's still the Washington. And then they've got the 4th South Dakotas. They still got a bit. We are going to go with the Yamato. You know what? Better yet, I'm going to go with the Yamato and the Musashi. That still leaves me with 90 points left. Is the Tone a good cruiser? Oops. Clicked a button by mistake. Bold move, Cotton. My bad. I gotta make this task force again. Battleship. Yamato. Musashi. Heavy cruiser. Tone. Chikuma. 2 battleships. 2 heavy cruisers. And still enough for 3 more destroyers to escort. We could do these 2, and then we could do 2 older destroyers, I think. We can do 1 Fubuki. And 1 Mutsu. So 8 warships. I've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 destroyers. Ideally it would be 5 destroyers. So I could drop a heavy cruiser. Because otherwise one of the cruisers has to go on the outside. As much as I don't want to leave one of those cruisers behind, I need a 4th destroyer. But that also lets me have more, I think, better destroyers. What are these guys' weapons? 16 torpedoes, Yagumo. Whereas the keys, are these mostly just anti-aircraft? Yeah. So let's remove these destroyers. Come up with a better destroyer task force. Let's go with, I think we're going to go with Yagumo class destroyers. These guys look like kick-ass. So that gives us 4. We need 5, right? So we'll go with 5 destroyers. We've got 2 battleships and a heavy cruiser. Still 23 points left. What can we get with that? We can do one of the older heavy cruisers, the Furitaka. What does that do to our task force formation? So the 9 would be right adjacent in the back. So what we need is the Yamato at 2 and the Musashi at 5. Or the Musashi's already at 2, so let's put the Yamato at 5. So 2 and 5 here. The heavies should be at 8 and 9, I think. Although we could maybe the Musashi at the rear of the line, because then you've got an adjacent like, anti-aircraft support. Maybe moving one of the heavy cruisers up to 2. So we've got the Tone at 2, the Yamato at 5, the Musashi needs to be at 8. Musashi at 8. So 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. The outer shield are all destroyers. 2 is a heavy cruiser in the Tone. 5 is the Yamato, 8 is the Musashi, and then 9 is the Furitaka, which is another heavy cruiser. I think moving the Tone out probably has more anti-aircraft. The same amount of 5-inch shells. These guys are dual purpose, so actually those aren't them. Tone isn't either, though. So their anti-aircraft complement is basically identical. So I think we'll keep this as is. Oh, this is the battle wagon dream right here for the Japanese Navy. We're gonna go ahead and send them into the slot. We control the skies at the moment, so why the hell not? We'll take a slightly more northerly route to be a little bit safer. And then move these boys down. We'll fast forward through the night. Shit. Are these guys here yet? Almost. So let's get these guys closer to shore. Okay, so let's unload these guys before the sun comes up. What do they all have ashore? 250 troops, 100 more fuel, 400 supplies, 250 troops, 100 engineering. So this is to help us build the airfield a little bit better. So they'll unload all that at Guadalcanal. We've now got enough engineering and fuel to go ahead and upgrade the airfield to a level 2. Oh, wait. Level 2 airfield, I think, gives us some dive bombers now out of Guadalcanal. We'll go ahead and pull these transports back to get them to Rabaul to go ahead and replenish. That uses up all our engineering and fuel until our next resupply, which should be in a few days, maybe even today. And it increases the troop complement on the island up to 3,000. Supplies are a little bit low because of that expenditure of supplies now, so if they did land enemy troops, we'd be fighting at a slightly lower efficiency rating, but I can throw some supplies on some destroyers here in a moment once we get these two transports back. Meanwhile, the battleships are on their way. It's going to take them a little while to get down there. And the carriers are still sitting off north, or the carrier. So I am not sure what happened here, but at this point, the enemy AI seemed to stop sending task forces up to Guadalcanal, which might be a smart thing given all the casualties they've endured, but is not something I'm sure how to respond to. I don't know if the AI is dead because the game never has reacted this way before, or if we need to do something to prompt it to come back to life and they're regrouping because of all the casualties. Not really sure what, but we sent out a whole bunch of patrols and didn't find anything over the next 10 to 15 minutes of gameplay, so that's where the stream ended. We're going to wrap this episode up here. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to get the battleships involved in a nice little fight. Once we get them down here, we've got a pretty massive task force, which will be a lot of fun to use if we ever spot where the enemy is. Otherwise, I guess we could just send them down to Port Moresby under air cover and bombard that place into rubble. But I guess we'll see what happens. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.